In June 2015, the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe said it would begin a process to demonetize. The exchange rate was $1 for 35 quadrillion Zimbabwean dollars. It was an inflation rate of 500 billion%. Things went so bad that the country ran out of paper to print the banknotes. So the plan was to abandon their currency and to complete the switch to US dollars. So, is inflation bad? Not so fast. A small amount of inflation is usually seen as a good thing. It helps keep the economy growing, and it also staves off the threat of deflation. In simple terms, inflation is just the average rate at which the general level of prices for goods and services is rising, and, consequently, the purchasing power of currency is falling. So why does inflation happen? Governments track inflation obsessively and try to keep it low. There's a vast amount of data collected all the time to ensure that governments can say with amazing precision how the inflation rate is going. The first is what economists call cost-push inflation. This is where the costs to businesses rise and then are passed down to customers. There can be a lot of reasons for these rises. Especially, oil might get more expensive for a very nice reason, because a lot of countries are developing and doing well. Secondly, workers might be asking for more money and succeeding either because they've organized themselves well politically or because schools and colleges haven't been training enough workers in the skills that companies need. Thirdly, land rents might be increasing because not enough factories and offices have been built, which tends to come down to political failures around building permits. The result of all this is that businesses then push their extra on to the consumer by raising prices. They don't want to. It's a scary move, but they have no choice. They'd go out of business otherwise. One other reason is the example of Lebanon. If the government prints money to pay off national debt, inflation could rise. What about deflation? It's simply the opposite of inflation. Deflation is when the general price levels in a country are falling. Deflation can be caused by an increase in productivity, a decrease in overall demand, or a decrease in the volume of credit in the economy. Most of the time, deflation is unambiguously a positive trend for the economy, but it can also, under certain conditions, occur along with a contraction in the economy. To calculate the effect of inflation, we use the following formula. The amount of money at time B equals the amount of money at time A times 1 plus f to the power n. Now, let's take an example. Assume you want to buy a chocolate bar that costed $1 in 2010. At an inflation rate of 3%, in 2020, the same chocolate bar would cost $1.34. Note that there are two types of interest rate. Real interest rate I. It is when the effect of inflation is not taken into consideration. And inflation-adjusted interest rate, where we consider the effect of inflation and the interest rate while calculating the time value of money. So, the inflation-adjusted interest rate has the following formula. IF equals I plus F plus I times F. And now, to calculate the actual amount of money accumulated, instead of using the real interest rate, we use IF. Let's take an example. If you put $5,000 in your bank account at an interest rate of 10%, in 2 years, your account will accumulate $6,050. And at an inflation rate of 4% per year, this $5,000 will have a purchasing power of $4,623 in today's dollars. Let's take another example. How much can a company afford to spend now on new equipment instead of spending $75,000 4 years from now? Given that the company's real MAR is 12% and the inflation rate is 3% per year. First, let's calculate the inflation-adjusted MAR. Using the formula, that's gonna be 15.36%. Then, we use the present worth formula, and the answer will be $42,349. Why is it necessary to take inflation into consideration? All firms go through an analysis to decide whether they go into a project or not. So, it is important to consider the inflation-adjusted MAR instead of just using MAR. Why? A little difference in MAR can lead from a profit to a loss, to a corporation dropping a project. So, what is the difference between nominal and real prices? Nominal prices, sometimes called current dollar prices, measure the dollar value of a product at the time it was produced. Real prices adjust for general price level changes over time, that is, inflation or deflation. Thanks for watching this video, and I hope you like it.